Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the political Visized us. So I'm not showing a lot of videos on YouTube anymore. Most of them are now over at Graham Elwood. It's on the scroll there. It's also in the show notes. And it is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It is free to sign up. I have a lot of free content over there, and they also have a premium level for $10. And you get all my premium content, the back catalog of all my live streams, because they immediately I take them off of YouTube. We live stream 4 or 5 days a week. All my karaoke videos, you'll see when you get there. Government Secrets, my podcast with Lee Camp. It's all over at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. And you're supporting the show because YouTube is censoring us. Taking away my ability to make any money on YouTube after building up 78,000 plus subscribers is a form of censorship, and we're against that. So speaking of censorship, speaking of governments trying to crush people, let's talk about Julian Assange. And I've brought this woman on, not brought her on, but I've showed clips of her on the show before. Her name is Clare Daly. She's in the European Parliament. She's Irish and she's an open socialist. Ireland is a socialist country. And this is what she had to say to the EU Parliament about Julian Assange, Navalny. Because everyone's talking about, oh, Navalny's being illegally jailed. And well, that's the Western media, American empire narrative, because Putin's bad. Navalny must be a good hero. Is he? She's going to talk about what he is. This is a speech she gave in front of Parliament recently. She makes some great points, which is why they'll never show this on MSNBC or CNN, or they're not going to show it on Fox or ABC. It's never going to happen. That's why you come to this show, because I'm going to show you stuff that they won't show you. So listen.
To the relentless Russia phobia in this place, why are people surprised that Russia sees no point in engaging with the EU? I'm as happy as anybody else to stand up for anybody's rights, including Navalny's. But let's be honest about him. He's a vicious, anti-immigrant racist on maybe 4% of the support, in rallying hundreds and thousands in cities of millions, hardly a mass movement. And we wouldn't be discussing him at all if he'd been arrested anywhere else other than in Russia. Meanwhile, Julian Assange has been incarcerated for almost 10 years for exposing US war crimes. We can't mention his name. Tomorrow, Pablo Hasél, a Catalan rapper, is going to prison for his lyrics. Where's the call to sanctions Spain? Tomorrow, 62-year-old Clare Daly is going to prison in West Virginia for her role in the non-violent plowshare action against Trident. Where's the demand to break off links with the US? Or the outcry about the hundreds of people arrested in this city on a protest a week ago? Nowhere, because this isn't about human rights. This is a geopolitical agenda against Russia, fueled by a military-industrial complex who need an enemy to justify their millions. Of course you're right to go to Russia. We should be engaged in dialogue, not war.
How do we make her president of America? How do we do this? Like, that's what I thought AOC was going to do when she got into power. I was naive. I thought, oh, she wouldn't. That's what AOC. This isn't a tweet. This isn't an interview. This is Parliament. This is talking about what the EU Parliament should do. This is talking about policy for the European Union. AOC and the tweet squad, boy, they'll give a tweet. They'll say, we're going to do this and fight for that. And never do it. That's what we need. We need more Clare Daly. We need more Clare Daly. I didn't know Navalny was a racist, anti-immigrant guy. Of course, America backs him. I did a video. This is probably one of the reasons I got demonetized, showing how Biden, other Democrats, John McCain, backed a neo-Nazi in the Ukraine just because they were anti-Putin. So we have such a problem with Putin mainly because he doesn't want to do business with us. We have no problem with the dictators of Saudi Arabia. They jailed a woman because she was protesting women couldn't drive in Saudi Arabia. They just released her. She was beaten, tortured, and sexually assaulted. Those are our good allies, the Saudis. That woman she mentioned in West Virginia, I didn't even know her name. The mainstream media is not going to talk about it. The mainstream media doesn't talk about Julian Assange. How come AOC can't talk about Julian Assange? Clare Daly can. God. Let's see what else she had to say.
And certainly if that type of hostility was to continue and accelerate a bit, I think it could cross over into the business field. But I don't think the business community in Europe would have the same attitude. I think there are many businesses and member states who very happily want to do business with Russia and vice versa. So I think that pressure, I would hope, would prevail. It generally has. But at the same time, we do have to raise a sound of warning. I think it's incredibly unhelpful, which is why I feel that it needs to be called out whenever we see it. I mean, a lot of this rhetoric seems to be galvanizing around the person of Navalny. It's almost as if they think that the person to oust Putin has finally come. Utterly ludicrous position. Who rules Russia is a matter for the Russian people, not the European Union, and they should let the Russian people themselves decide that. But it seems to me that they've latched on to this individual. They seem to think he has a lot more support than I think he has, and they somehow think that he is going to be maybe a kind of a Guaido-like puppet in Russia, where he would be more amenable to their interests. But I think that's just complete lunacy, to be honest. And I would hope that some of the more astute business people in the European Union would think the same.
Oh, she's a crazy socialist. This is the thing when people think socialism is like Stalin. No, she's a socialist who just wants, everybody gets free college, free, that's what you get in Ireland. That's you get all those things, right? Free healthcare. And she's like, European businesses should be doing trade with Russia. It'd be good for everybody. That's good business. Socialists aren't against, I'm not against good business, a socialism, a worker-owned cooperative, having a profitable product, selling it. Like, look what she was saying. You never hear this. You never hear this out of America. And boy, what a wacky concept. Let the Russian people decide. If the Russian people want to vote out Putin in favor of Navalny, that's their right. They get to do that. Oh, we're so full of shit in this country. And she calls out the lies of the American empire and the military industrial complex. And I love it. This is what we have nobody like this in America. Nobody. Not Bernie, not Tulsi, not the squad. Nobody really calling out this kind of stuff. Little things here and there. Tulsi tried to, advocate for Julian Assange. Okay, but nobody like on the floor of the Senate or Congress saying this is what we need. This is the bill we need. Nobody saying that. Nobody. And yeah, of course, Russia. Look how we treat Russia and China. We flex our muscles. We have bases surrounding both of those countries. We have the biggest army in the history of the human race. Like, and people are fed up with it. We act like, oh, we're just bringing freedom and democracy. It's ludicrous, is what she's saying. Ludicrous. Clare Daly, God, I wish you lived here. I wish you were in our Senate or Congress or running for president, because I'd vote for you. Is there anyone in America who's willing to talk that way? Get into power? I don't know much more about her, but I mean, there's no way she's some like political opportunist saying shit like that. I just find that hard to believe. And maybe people in the EU and Ireland can say, well, Graham, she's done this and this. I don't know. I can't speak to it. I don't follow the, European, and I don't follow the EU Parliament. But those words on the Parliament floor, and then what she said in that interview, if all America cares about is money and business, we could be doing business with Russia right now. They'd happily go back to trading with us. We have the biggest economy in the world. Not for much longer because COVID's wiped it out and the billionaires made all the money and working class Americans can't afford to buy anything because they're behind on rent. But, you know, in general. See, when AOC and I got really behind her and Jimmy Dore had her on his show, he helped her get elected. I said, donate to her campaign. I said, I don't live in her district. I wish I could vote for her. I donated to her. I told people to donate. Because I thought she was going to do that. I thought she was going to call out the lies of the Democratic Party the way she did in her campaign and when she first got sworn in. And now it's all mama bear and only the Republicans are bad. We have nobody with that kind of guts in American politics. Not in the two big parties. No way. The two parties are bought and paid for. The two parties are marionettes for the oligarchs. Make no mistake. They're just, oh, hey. It's a joke. So thanks for watching the show, everybody. I'm going to show you stuff that nobody else is. And please support us on rockman.com. YouTube is demonetizing us, which is censorship, plain and simple. They don't want stuff like this being talked about. I can say the Republicans are bad. I can't say Joe Biden's bad. It's all, America's a ridiculous place. It is a ridiculous place where people have been lied to and propagandized for so long that they honestly think one of these parties is better than the other one. You've been lied to. You big Republican, you think the Republican, you've been lied to, man. Fox lied to you. Trump lied to you. You think the Democrats are better? They lied to you. Obama's a liar. Clinton's a liar. Obama's a liar. George Bush is a liar. Mike Huckabee's a liar. All of them. Rachel Maddow's a liar. The punchable face of Sean Hannity is a liar. They're all liars. They're paid to lie by billionaires. That's what they do. I don't think Clare Daly is. That's why we're showing her on this show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Shave your knuckles for justice. Follow the money. Connect the dots. That's where you get the truth. Boom. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at grahamelwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.